Hello, Lazar. Hello, Luka. Nice to talk to you guys. Um, I'm on holidays on a Sunday morning. That's why my hair looks a bit messy today. You guys look all neat. Where are you at the moment?
We are both at home. We are. Today is a rest day, so chilling a little bit, getting ready for maybe some swimming, and yeah, that's it for today.
Yeah,
Good.
and we don't live together, so we are both at our homes. He is in Novi Sad and I'm in Temerin, so yeah.
Okay, good. You also have sunshine. I think at least there's light coming in the room.
Yeah. A little bit of sun today.
Okay,
it was
good.
a rain couple of days, but it was now it's nice.
Okay, good. So yeah, it's been a few weeks since the games. I assume there has been a lot of new and exciting things going on since you came back from the games. Let's tell us a little bit about how your last weeks since your return have been.
So for me, when I finished games, I traveled back home, and immediately in 2 days I went to France to see my girlfriend, and I stayed there for 2 weeks. Bunch of stuff happened in those 2 weeks. Everybody wanted to hear something from me on the podcasts, and a bunch of podcasts and interviews and newspaper going out about me and about us actually. So it was something new for me and new and exciting. But now it all got a little bit settled, and after 3 weeks in France and resting, I was so hungry to start training. So now I'm back home, and I started training for 2 weeks now, and I signed with a new team. I still can't tell which team that is, so yeah, we'll to keep the public a little bit on their fingers, on their toes. So yeah.
Okay, good. So now you're back home. You start training 2 weeks again, and you can focus on training again. That's good. Luka, how has it been for you?
Yeah, same. Basically, the day when I arrived from the games, next day I went to Greece for vacation with my girlfriend. She came back from the Olympics, so we both waited for our seasons to end so that we can go to vacation. So immediately after the games, I went on vacation just to like get the head clear a little bit, get the things settled, solve some things that I had to solve. I also joined a new team. It's a Misfit Athletics from United States. And yeah, a lot of new things happened, as Lazar said, a lot of things about the games. Everybody wanted to hear something, what happened at the games, what happened at this event, what happened at that event. And yeah, to be honest, I'm glad that all that hype around the games is done, and now we can focus on the new season and the competitions in front of us. And yeah, I started training again on 16th of August, so that's like 16 days ago or 17 days ago. So I'm back. I'm already back in the full swing of things, getting ready for the new season.
Yeah. Okay. Cool, man. Yeah, I can imagine that there was a lot of hype for you guys. Like even people from Serbia contacted us and wrote to Suprfit about you guys and also about the videos we've done, and that they are happy that we work together, and they even said thank you that we support you guys and all that. So I can imagine there was a lot going on for you, which I'm happy for you guys. I mean, both of you did a great performance, and I know, Lazar, you are really happy. Luka, you probably want to achieve more, as I know you in the future.
Yeah.
But it was great, and I'm really happy for you guys that there was a hype around the topic and that you now can focus again on training and the future. So before we talk about the future, I think what's really interesting for everybody who's into CrossFit and also trying to be a successful athlete is what you guys gained and experience from the games, what you've learned. And so, yeah, I would love to talk to you about the top 5 takeaways that each of you gained or took away from the games this year. Let's start with Luka. We're going to do it one by one. Please let me know number 1 from you.
Yeah, for me, I think first takeaway from the games immediately when I arrived was when I saw all of the other athletes and how the organization is going, is maybe having a little bit better organization. For example, a car, a hotel where we stay and stuff like that. Those are the things that nobody really thinks about when it's going to the competition. For example, we just booked the official hotel of the games and we were driving by Uber and stuff. And then at the end of the games, when we were summing things up, we saw how much energy we lose on not being close to the competition. For example, not having kitchen in our apartment, driving by Uber, waiting for Uber after the events and stuff like that. So it's a really simple and easy thing to do, but we didn't think about that before the game because we had so many things going out with visa and everything. So I think that number 1 takeaway for me would be that organization around the competition and transportation, which I think that we lose a lot of energy and a lot of time on that. Maybe we could be a little bit more organized from that, but first time at the game, so I think that we learned, and for the next years we will be much better organized for sure.
Okay, cool. You, Lazar?
For me, the first thing that I can say is different is that the games is a competition that you can't compare to any other competition. It's the longest, the hardest, and there is so much people there, so much volunteers, then judges, then crowd. You can't imagine how many people there are. So yeah, I would just say that the first thing that I learned is you need to be comfortable in front of that many people. Like I don't want to say stupid number, but I think there's at least 10,000 people in the Colosseum. And when you are in the arena and they start screaming, the floor is actually shaking. You can't imagine how it feels. So yeah, first takeaway from me is get more comfortable in front of the crowd, and yeah, for me it was a big deal. I don't know for anybody else, but for me it was like whenever I go outside on the floor, I got butterfly. So
yeah, so that's actually two very different first takeaways, because the one that Luka brought up is something that you can easily change and handle right away on your next competition. I think that's probably a good takeaway for all competitions, right? Like not only prepare well in training, but also prepare well the whole trip, like transport, accommodation, food, and whatsoever is a very important factor when you be successful. And Lazar, for you, maybe you need to participate in a few game shows or something so that that you get familiar, because that's probably more difficult to gain the experience in front of so many spectators. Or is there any other big competitions in the States, for example, where you have a lot of spectators where you could take part? Because in Europe, there's not so much in CrossFit where you have so many spectators, right?
Yeah, actually, I'm invited to Rogue Invitational, and nice. I'll be competing there, and they are doing it on a baseball stadium. So I guess I will adapt to crowd. I need to adapt to the crowd again. So yeah, we'll see.
Okay, so definitely you are exposed again pretty soon. Nice.
Yeah.
And then what's the second takeaway, Luka?
Yeah. For me, it's as Lazar said, the games are not competition. The games are competition like none other. So for me, it would be not having any big weaknesses and don't look too much to what the other competitors are doing. Because, for example, if we are competing in Europe, most of the times we were one of the best in the field. Even if you have some bigger weaknesses, they are not as much exposed as they are at the games. So, for example, it would be for me, the squat clean is my weakest movement, and anytime that I go to any other competition and I clean near my max, or my max doesn't mean if I'm feeling good or not, I will still be okay in that field. And then, for example, going to the games, and then even if I PR'd my squat clean, it would still be bottom of the pack. So not having any huge weaknesses, because I think that people are not realizing how good the field at the games is. So basically, if you are thinking that you are bad at something, you're probably going to be last in that movement. So not having any big weaknesses going into the games, because any weaknesses that you have, they will be exposed for sure, and you will not be placed good, because that field is so good and so well rounded. So now, number two takeaway for me is for sure how strong the field is, and how your weaknesses are going to be exposed if you're bad at something.
Okay, thank you. And you, Lazar?
I would say Luka connected to my first takeaway with this, but now I will connect with his first takeaway and organize. I would say about food. Food is really, really important there. And I think I was thinking too much about eating clean, and I was eating a lot, but I think I was eating salads, and I was eating rice, and I was eating chicken and meat and stuff like that. And I needed more calories, like, I don't know, peanut butter, I don't know, ice cream, something like that, something filled with macronutrients, and calories. So yeah, for the next time, I will pay attention more on my food, and how much and what I need to eat there. I think I ate good, but maybe I should have eaten more, because by the end of how the stuff were progressing, for example, day 3 I felt great, and then day 4 I got crushed. So yeah, maybe it was because of food, maybe because of sleep, maybe I don't know, but yeah, for sure I need to pay attention more on the food next time.
So we talked a little bit about food the last time as well, and when we talk about food or nutrition so far, we always talk about stuff to eat. How's about drinking? How is that like? What do you drink? How much do you drink? I just listened to somebody in a podcast about running a marathon or half marathon, and they said that you need to drink a lot the day before or the 2 days before, but the morning before you go for the marathon run, you should drink very little actually, and stuff like that. Is there any special way you handle your drinking during the games?
Well, we try to take in calories with drinks also. We drank some Gatorade, then Fictate, Nocco, I don't know, bunch of stuff. But but for me, if I drink too much, then I will need to go to the toilet a lot. And you don't want to go to the toilet when you're lying, and like, guys, we are going to work out, and like, oh, I need to go to the toilet now. So I'm a little bit cautious about that for sure.
Okay. And so, but like how many liters a day do you drink there? Do you know that?
Usually, if I train, it's more than 5, I think.
Around 5.
Yeah, if you go two trainings a day or 3 trainings a day, you will drink about maybe 3 liters or more just in training, and then you need a lot of water to hydrate. So yeah, for example, 5 liters or more.
Okay, nice. Yeah, that's pretty interesting, the nutrition part. Probably also a huge factor in the end to especially at the games when it's so long with such a hard competition, can make a difference.
Say something that I've noticed. So Justin Medeiros won the competition. When he came on the first day, I saw abs there. He had some abs, not a lot of abs, but he had some abs. But when he finished the competition, I feel like he got bigger. Like maybe he eaten so much that he gained weight during the CrossFit Games. But Fraser is his mentor, and he said the exact same thing. He's trying to put on mass as the games are going. So I think he took that from Fraser, and for sure, I think he gained some weight during the games. Yeah, that's my opinions, and I will try to do the same next time.
You need to find out what you eat and how much you need to eat to achieve that. That's maybe even more difficult than winning the games.
Yeah, they will not say for sure. I'll try to figure it out.
You need to speak to a bacon company or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So that was number 2. Luka, number 3.
Yeah, for me, number 3 would be handling volume. In training, I was doing a lot of volume, but I never did as that volume as I did at the games with the barbell. It was a lot of barbells at the games, and I think that my body was not that well prepared for that much barbells. And then at the end of before the event, then my back spasm really bad. And that's, I think, because I was doing a lot of volume in the training, but not as much training and as much volume with the barbell. And this year at the games, there was a lot of barbells. And I think that I was maybe ready for the event or 2, but there was, I think, 5 to 6 events having barbell involved, where the barbell was main part or some type of odd object and lifting. So yeah, I think for me, it would be getting more volume in with the barbell leading up to the games.
And for you, Lazar, number 3?
For me, it's a support system. You need big support system, and you need people to take care of you. And it was different for us because we came from Europe and we only had one exception letter to give to our coach or to somebody. So we only had one guy to help us, and it's not possible to organize everything great with just one man, one guy, one. So we had that luck that it was me and Luka there, and there were 2 coaches for us there. So we tried to get the best out of it, but American athletes, for example, had teams there, like 5 guys there. One guy is to massage them, other guys to bring them food, other guys to drive them home, other guys to do something else to coach them. So for us, I think the next time that we go, it would be perfect if not many, but like at least 3 to 4 people go with us to help us. Yeah, just to have a coach in a team, a physiotherapist, somebody who will organize transport and whatever. And yeah, that's where you need 3 guys.
Yeah, I think that definitely makes sense. And it's also kind of weird that the US participants were allowed to have a team, and the ones from Europe were only allowed one person.
But you're allowed to have next to you just one person, so you get only one coach bracelet. But so everybody is on the same there. But after we finish, obviously, their family is there, and they will help. So yeah, that's the difference. If my family is there, of course they would do everything to help me, and I don't blame anyone. Like it's just the thing with Corona now that people from Europe can't travel, and for the next time, just the support system need to be better, and we'll do much better. I think it's at least 15 to 20% on your performance if you had somebody to take care of you. So
that makes sense, but that means a big investment as well then, right? So that's totally different setup, totally different financing game then also for the game. So something that you probably need to work on early on in the year so that you have it ready in case you're gonna qualify, because that means 2 to 3 times the cost probably if you bring 3 to 4 people with you. But absolutely makes sense. And Luka, you were talking about the volume and the barbell and the heavy reps and all that. Do you think that there's a difference in general between the competitions in Europe and the competitions in the US and in that perspective?
Yeah, I think because usually if you compete in Europe, if you're competing in maybe 7 events, one event will be heavy lift, some type of ladder or max lift, and then maybe one more event will have barbell. And I feel like the whole Europe, athletes, coaches, competitions, they are not as focused to the barbell as are people in United States. I feel there are 2 completely different approaches to CrossFit. If you're comparing Europe and United States, and I think that's what most of Europe athletes are lacking, is that efficiency with the barbell, strength with the barbell. For example, we were talking, Lazar and I, he finished a clean event. He cleaned 160, which is crazy big lift. Like 3 years ago at the games, you clean 160, you are probably in top 5. And this year he cleaned 160 in the ladder, where it was running involved, and he was 26th. And we were like, whoa, what's happening? So yeah, I think that that the whole Europe is a lot less focused on the barbell. So yeah, I think that Europe competitions are lacking the barbell. Not lacking the barbell. I think that United States competitions have a lot more barbell than Europe. I'm not saying that I would like to see more barbell. I'm just saying that competitions in United States are much more focusing on the barbell than in Europe.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. You're not the first one who's talking to me, and who's deep into the game and is talking to me about that. It would be interesting to find out why, but could also be maybe that there's that this is a reason of time, that the US is more developed and further ahead already, and that the base of strong athletes in Europe is just not there yet as well, right? I mean, if you would introduce that too early here in the competitions, would be probably very difficult and different for a lot of athletes, that these kind of aspects as well, right? Maybe that make a factor here. Okay, so if I counted correct, this one was number 3.
Yeah.
And then we gonna continue with number 4.
Yeah. Number 4 for me, I think should be going to United States a little bit earlier. We went to United States like 1 week earlier or a little bit less, like 6 days before the games. And I think that it wasn't enough. I think that we should be going to Madison earlier, like the city where the games are held. We were in the United States 6 days before, but we arrived to Madison maybe 2 days before the games. And I think we would maybe, the better option would be going to the United States earlier for some training camps before the games, staying there a little bit longer, and then going to because the games will be moved soon. So next year it's still in Madison, but when they move, however, I think that going to the city where the games are held should be a good idea to do, because you will be more organized. You will know where you can buy food. You will know where you can make whatever, for example, some treatments if you need or whatever. I think that 2 days before the games in Madison was not enough.
Okay, that makes sense. And you, Lazar, what's your number 4?
Now I need to make shout out to you. And I need to say that the equipment is a really, really big part of the CrossFit Games. For example, you will always have something that you don't have in your gym, and they will surprise you all the time. And you need to get all the equipment that you can, so you can mimic what they can give you there. So I'm glad we are working with Suprfit, and we immediately after the games we got in contact with you and like, Mitzi, can you provide us this equipment? And we send you the list. So yeah, it's just you need to have variety of stuff, like for example ramps, pegs, heavy ropes, did I say yokes? I don't know, like short bars. Everything is so different. For example, just a simple thing, short bar. You always lift on the regular bar and then you go to the short bar. Imagine deadlift in event number, I don't know, it was 14th event, and it's not only, but it's 180 kilo deadlift. And then you take that deadlift on the regular bar, it's not a problem. Barbell bends a little bit, you bounce a little bit, you can get some more reps out of it. But just by shortening the bar, you don't get the bend anymore, you don't get the bounce anymore, and it feels like 200 kilos. So yeah, you need to get the equipment that you can and mimic what you have at the games. So that's why I can say Luka and I are very grateful to Suprfit that we are working with them and with you. So yeah, I would say, yeah, equipment is a huge part.
Yeah, that's also good to hear for us and for me, obviously. And this is the part where we also try to keep up with the US, obviously, because they are always ahead of us and such a big market they have, you know. And this is the biggest challenge for us in Europe, I guess, that taking on new equipment to your portfolio and then be able to sell it in a volume, in a time frame that makes sense from a business point of view, because you shouldn't have something that you order and gets into your warehouse lying there for 12 months. So, you know, you getting volume in a certain period of time for new equipment, that's, I think, more difficult actually in Europe than it is in the States. Yeah. I'm also a lot of in touch with some competitors or partners from me in the States, and also the acceptance from the CrossFit community. You know, the Americans, they love new stuff. So when somebody brings on new equipment, they're like, I'll order it for my home gym, even if they use it twice a year. They just want to get it, and that's pretty cool for them. And so that's a bit slower over here, and that's a challenge for us. But we try to keep up, and as the market is growing, and there's a lot of good equipment companies on the market in Europe now as well. So that also heats up the competition and the development. Then, but I'm glad that you guys are happy with the equipment. That's good to hear. And yeah, Luka, I think also what you said, that's a really, really interesting point, because that comes back also like with number one, you know, these basics in organization is absolutely key. And that's also then to Lazar's number three with the support system, right?
Yeah.
Especially if your main support assistant or help is at the same time your coach, who is at the same time running a CrossFit box, it's pretty difficult for you as the athlete and that person to take care of that all, and then, you know, to organize such a huge event perfectly. So bottom line, it comes down to support team, and maybe not only the organizer of the events need volunteers, maybe the athletes need volunteers as well. Okay, guys, number 5, the last one.
Last one for me would be stay in your own lane at the CrossFit Games. I don't know how many points I lose at the end of the events or being in a different heats just because I was watching around. I was not focusing on what I have to do. For example, at the event where we had to do pig flip, I wasn't listening my judge correctly. I thought that I stepped on the lane on the finish zone, and I dropped the handles of the sled and looked around. My judge called me back. I ran back to pick up the handles and move across. And in those 3 seconds or 4 seconds, I lost 6 spots. Then sprint event in running, I was so sure that I will be first in the event if I win my heat, because I was thinking that my heat is fast enough. Hey, this guy won sprint in 2016. This guy is a good runner. If I win my heat, I would be first. And then I won my heat, and 5 guys beat me in that event from the heat after. And yeah, I think if I was staying in my lane a little bit more, focusing on what I can do and maximizing my potential, I think that I would a lot more points with the fitness that I had. So yeah, I think that I lost a lot of points on not focusing on myself and looking around too much. And I think that that was experience at the games that I didn't have. So I was at the games first time. If I was competing in Europe, I would focus on myself for sure, because I know competitors and I know what people can do here. And at the games, I was a little bit like, oh, what this guy can do, what this guy can do. So yeah, I think that then I overpaced some events, looking around. This guy did rope climbs faster than me. I should ski a little bit faster, and then I burned out on that event. So yeah, I think focusing on what you can do and not look around, just focus on what you can do and take the most out of that is the next thing, and the last takeaway for me, because I think that you can take a lot more points if you try just to maximize what you can do instead of looking around and comparing yourself in the actual event.
That makes a lot of sense. And for you, Lazar?
I would like to say 2 things. So yeah, first one is I want to connect to Luka's answer, and I want to say mistakes will be made. Like this was our rookie year, and now with the support system that we were talking about, with the programming, with the volume, with not coming to the States earlier. So yeah, everybody will make mistakes at the games, and the goal is just to keep them at the minimum, and they will happen for sure. If you ask Scott Penn if he made some mistakes during these games, and it was his 10th games, for sure he made some mistakes, but he probably made the least amount of them. So yeah, the goal is just to keep those mistakes on minimum. And what my 5th takeaway and the last takeaway is you need to enjoy what you're doing. You need to enjoy the games. And again, putting Scott Penchik in the picture, we were the rookies there, and on the bus, we sat opposite sides of the bus. So I sat on the right side, and Luka sat on the left side, and we were both with one empty spot next to us. And Scott goes inside and sits next to Luka, and he started talking about life lessons. Like, he gave him so many advices, and I think what Scott thought was most important advice he could give is you need to enjoy the games. It's only 5 days in a year. It's 1 week, and you need to enjoy. And what he said that got to me the most was you will never be happy with how it went. You will always want more. And he's the guy that probably knows it. He finished fourth, like many times. And you will always want to do more, except if you win, of course. And you can always do better. So whatever happens, you need to enjoy. You need to be grateful that you were there. You need to be grateful that you experienced that stuff. So I would just say enjoyment is the big part of that. Like, you worked so hard to get there, and now that you are there, you need to give your best, not stress too much over the stuff that can't be changed. And that's all.
There was a good point that he said to me, like, for example, I think that he competed the games 9 times, and 8 times he finished in top 6. So he was like the most consistent games athlete ever. And he said that every year when he came home, he wasn't happy. And then he said a good point, like, even if I won, I would say, man, can I do it again? So like, doesn't matter like what you do at the games, there will still be some part of you that is like waiting for something else to happen or not being happy. So if you finish 3rd, could I be in top 2? If I finish 2nd, could I be 1st? If I finish 1st, can I do it again? So I think that every athlete that's going to the games is like that, because if you are not like that, you wouldn't be at the games. So yeah, that was really good point when he said that, and then I thought also about that. So yeah, that was a really good point.
Yeah, I think I totally agree, but I also think it sounds very easy as a takeaway. So just enjoy yourself. But it's a very difficult thing, I imagine. Yeah. I just know from my background as a tennis player on a high level, so it's difficult to actually enjoy yourself in moments of competition. And especially, this is also something that comes with experience, and that you can try to by some things to speed up that process, that you could come to that goal. But I think that's something that needs experience, because in the beginning you are nervous, everything is very intense, and there's a lot of pressure that you make to yourself. If you could, but I totally agree that the faster you can get that off your shoulders, the more fun you have, and the better performance you bring. And I think somehow the 2 points that you brought up there as the last takeaways, they are connected as well, because that focus that you brought up, Luka, and enjoying yourself somehow is connected, I believe, because if you are able to be in the moment, that big thing that everybody's talking about, like being in the moment, living in the moment. But it's actually true for a lot of situations in life, and especially in a competition. If you just in the moment, then you probably are most focused, and you probably enjoy the most. And that is something, I don't know if you watched the documentary about the Chicago Bulls and Michael Jordan on Netflix.
Yeah, for sure.
That was something that stuck to my mind, that everybody who was interviewed or asked more or less said the same, that the biggest difference was that Michael Jordan was always in the moment. And that's probably that magic that brings them together, the fun and the joy and the focus. So yeah, that was really interesting. Thank you for sharing your takeaways. I think that also is helpful for the guys and girls that listen to this and want to take something away from your experience now for their own competitions. Thank you very much. Let's finish off with what you guys have planned for the rest of the year. Is there more competitions? Are there more competitions coming up? And if so, where are you going to compete?
Yeah. For me, I think that the next competition for both of us is Double Trouble in Cologne, in Germany. It's a team competition. We are competing in team of 2. So that's the next one. Then after that, for me, it will be probably Madrid CrossFit Championship. And then after that, the German Throwdown. And that will be the last one before the next year. And then next year is starting with Wadapalooza. That is one of the biggest competition in the world after the CrossFit Games. So that is the 3 or 4 next ones in before the Open. And then when the Open starts, we are again on that goal to make the CrossFit Games, because nothing is guaranteed. So finish with those competitions and focus on the next season every step of the way.
Nice. That's still a lot to do this year then for you.
Yeah.
And you, Lazar?
I was laughing yesterday at Luka because he told me, like, this is the new year. Like, the games are done and year for him was over. So this is now new year. This is already 2022 season. Yeah, definitely I would focus on it as he said. I would focus on it as it's one big year or one big season ahead. So games are over and new season started for me 2 weeks ago. And as Luka said, I will go with him on Double Trouble in Germany. And then Rogue Invitational in Austin, Texas. And then probably I will travel from, it will be a big trip, but probably I'll travel from US to Dubai, where I will compete at Mayhem Desert Heat. And after it, I'm planning on taking a big off season until the Open, and then focus on the games again. So yeah.
Okay, but then you also have few competitions ahead of you, totally different road after the Double Trouble, which is probably going to be a lot of fun for you too.
For sure.
I think we enjoy competing in team.
Yeah, because I can imagine.
We don't get the chance to do that often, and we competed once together in Kuwait, and we won the competition. So we are hoping to keep 100%.
Nice. So. Cool. Yeah. Okay, guys. Then we're gonna see some more action from you in the next couple of weeks. Excited to see how it's going. Definitely think it's a good idea to change the calendar for you guys from games to games, as this end and the start.
It's not January 1st for us. It's the ending of the CrossFit Games. The New Year is starting.
It's a new time calendar for you guys.
Yeah.
That's also takeaway.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. Thank you very much. It was fun talking to you again and very interesting. I hope to meet you in Germany soon. And so enjoy the rest of your Sunday And then I hope you have a successful year ahead of you.
We'll try.
Okay. Take care, man. Bye-bye, guys.
Bye.